Sure. Yeah. That's really interesting. Does the body then also develop its own antibodies to be able to fight against these things? I guess I'm asking if once you contract COVID-19 and essentially defeat that virus, has the body then learned how to fight effectively against it?
That's a really insightful question, actually. And the thinking on it is very mixed. With the seasonal coronaviruses, you have immunity for months to maybe a year or two,
Okay.
and then you can get reinfected.
Hmm.
SARS stopped on its own. MERS started. We have very few cases, so we don't know whether somebody could be reinfected. There's one study of monkeys where they infected 4 monkeys. They sacrificed one to see what the extent of disease was. The other 3 they let recover for a month, only 1 month, re-challenged them, exposed them to the virus, and they were protected.
Hmm.
So we know for a month you're good, but how much longer after that, we don't
Right.
know.
Well, I imagine, I mean, it's encouraging nonetheless to know that even in that time frame, because you would imagine that it would go longer. It's just a question of how much longer that immunity is good for.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then what
Exactly.
does your work consist of? And I know we can't get into the nitty gritty, the very specifics of everything that you're doing, but generally, how do you begin to develop vaccines and work
Yeah.
towards creating solutions to these problems?
Well, we're trying to advance the science. That's our goal. I took an oath as a physician, and I intend to fulfill that oath. And that means I'm going to put myself in harm's way, as a lot of other healthcare workers, a lot of first responders, a lot of military members. We put ourselves in harm's way because that's what we do. We signed up for that. So how do we start? We first want to know that base of the pyramid that you pointed out. We're going to look in our community with testing that will be developed to say how many people are being infected and at what rate. The other thing, of course, is an interesting thing is once you know that somebody's infected and presumably immune, you can deploy them. They can now be in the hospital on the front lines of this war with immunity.
Sure.
Now, how long? How long is one of the things we want to find out. The other thing is that this virus could very well act differently, depend on genetic variations in your own cell receptor and your genetic background. That's one of the reasons, perhaps, that the Chinese had such a higher case fatality rate than we've experienced here in the US. There are other factors too, but that's one idea. So we want to actually sequence through the receptor on human cells to see what kind of variations are there, and are they associated with different levels of severity of illness and of death.